Welcome on board this Thames Clippers service. May we draw your attention to safety.
I was born about 5 minutes away from the sea, by the waters of Manila Bay. Water is part of my youth. I used to visit an aunt by a river. A lot of these kingfishers. They migrate, birds migrate. And I thought, well, it's very nice to go to do some migration. And this is a kind of, as a haiku of a migration. Very short, but very brief. But it goes from one part of London to the other.
Please watch your step off.
We're at Tate Britain. We've done our brief migration in time and space. I was born during the war and after the war, and Manila was destroyed, 90%. And so everything grew up again as a vegetation. And as I was growing up there, I enjoyed with my brothers, just exploring the nature, the wildness. But when I went to America, I was in New York. Everything was machines. So I started to look at the relationship between man, nature, and the machine. And that was actually some of my early studies. This is a very early work of mine. It's called a bubble machine, Cloud Canyons, and this is a reconstruction much later on. The inspiration was very much all my own experiences. During the war, I saw as a toddler, a young man shot and he was dying. And I saw bubbles coming out of his mouth, bubbles like those that you can see. And then much later, my mother was cooking special meals for me with cream of coconut. So I also saw bubbles. Then when I first went to America, I saw from above the air, I saw all these clouds, So we were flying over the Pacific Ocean, the Grand Canyon, and over New York. And finally, my final inspiration was when I was in Edinburgh with a friend of mine. We went to a brewery, and we got free beer. We were slightly inebriated. We went down from the castle to lie on our backs on King Arthur's seat, and as I was watching the clouds, I got the idea for this kind of work. The migration is because the experiences came from different moments in my life, from being in the Philippines, being in New York, being in Scotland, being in England, being in France, all the while thinking about clouds and their formations, which are never the same. It's unpredictable. Although I don't feel myself as a migrant or an exile, I feel at home anywhere like clouds,